Welcome back, everyone, to Suzerain, or Suzerain, or Suzerain. And we have 3 events to take a look at right away. So first off, we have the meeting with Marcel Caronti, the media magnate, sun guy. Then we have the economic relief plan, and then we have the L1 railway contract. So we're going to do them by importance, I believe. So, here we're coming in. We're entering Conriette. Where are we? We're nearing the HOS Country Club, so the Heart of Sordland conglomerate, which is one of the biggest corporations in Sordland, which is the big corporation that includes the media organization of Marcel Caronti, who is now also the CEO of the corporation as a whole. So here we are. Here we are. Looks like we have the team ready. I hope the journey was comfortable. Well, this location looks very remote. It's an exclusive country club for people who value their privacy, of course. Let's shake the hand. I appreciate your efforts to reach out for a mutually beneficial friendship, of course. Welcome. Your kind words have touched me, Vice President. He was indeed a great man. So they're talking about this guy's dad who died. Probably, from overdose or something like that. Please accept our condolences. There's much to discuss. I agree. Believe it or not, I've been a secret admirer of your political success. So, tumultuous months. The whole incident was a shock for the kids. They're used to what we lived through in the late 20s. Of course. Yeah. So let me get to the point about wasting your valuable time. It was during the Alfonso campaign when I was struck by what you have done with the party. Look at one of the 2 paintings on the wall. So there's the paintings. What is the painting? The famous piece depicted a giant sleeping beneath a village. The trees, rivers, and hills were all part of the giant's body. Its eyes were 2 caves looking up at the people. It showed daylight at the far left and nighttime at the far right. Oh, okay. You said we will transform this nation, Mr. Rain. My conglomerate has a way of doing things and I don't want them to change, of course. Explain further. Everybody makes mistakes. So, of course, it means you have many enemies that would resort to anything to bring you down. Let's say these enemies caused a scandal or leaked sensitive information from the administration, of course. Let's hear the offer. I want 2 things. Number 1 is a guarantee from you that the Rain administration won't meddle in HOS affairs no matter what happens. And that's the problem. Number 2 is simple gentleman's favor for the future. Let me prove my services to you first, and you won't disappoint when the time comes. I mean, I don't want the whole HOS, not meddling part. That sounds... I think he's getting more out of this than we are. I agree. I mean, I'm the president, The issue tied to his request must be so important for him that he's offering this risky deal. We need to be cautious. If we get caught or this gets out, I can't imagine the consequences. I agree. I have to reject. He pushed it too far. I agree. He pushed it way too far. I don't want the media and the corporations to be, you know, too in league with the whole business of running, you know, the whole government. This is probably a recipe for disaster because, you know, if I just say HOS is going to have my support no matter what, then what the fuck are they gonna do, you know? They can do anything. Anyway, we have the government contract to be awarded. And if you'll remember from the last time, there was a little bit of a campaign by another businessman. Let's go to the characters. Walter Tusk, who is a big old friend with the people who own a construction company, to have that construction company take over. Of course, you know. Hello, Mr. President. Good to see you again. I appreciate you taking up my offer on the stock investment. Armadine is a very promising corporation, and I'm not sure why he became, like, Serbian. He was supposed to be Spanish. Yeah. I will get you a 25-year-old Earl Maroon if they make solid profits, of course. Anyway, here comes Simon Hall, our good old numbers guy. Came with train yesterday and was a little uncomfortable. Besides our starting our economic recovery, the train journeys here will be much more pleasant, Mr. President. That is a given now. The project will improve so many things, ranging from logistics to growth. You made the right choice, to be sure. Yeah, I trust the economic plans. According to your document, many citizens will be employed because of business expansions. Let's hope that. What kind of end results do we expect? Shorter-term employment and long-term economic development in Gelsland and Greater Holserd. And the cities in between will benefit, which is good. Look at the files. So, 3 corporations were listed. The Sordland State Corporation, Underhall Construction, and Taurus Holding. Okay, which corporation should we talk about? Let's first talk about Taurus Holding, because I think it should be the most interesting one of the 3. So it was founded in 1946 and is owned by the entrepreneur Geralt of Rivia, Geralt Face. It is a new holding company whose subsidiaries use cutting-edge technology from Arcasia to reduce construction costs and prices. They're known to provide for their workers who are part of the labor union of Sordland. Okay. So they're social market economy, I suppose. They're a very interesting corporation because of their innovative construction projects, but they aren't suitable for large projects like these. Why shouldn't we go with Taurus? What was the largest mega project they work on? I don't even remember. So choosing this corporation is risky for a project like this if things go wrong. Well, yeah, but like their capabilities are important. So they took a joint contract in Arcasia for restructuring the highway intersection of one of the major cities. It went well, but it is their only large-scale success. And it was a joint contract. This is the most unique. Yeah, this is why I thought that this was the most interesting. So the project manager from Taurus Holding mentioned that they would be able to finish the project with the allocated funding. They're the only company who found the budget sufficient, making them a cheaper alternative. Worth considering. But let's talk about the Sordland State Corporation. So it started in 1891. It is the main state corporation tasked with running the day-to-day construction services of our country. The SSC is the primary reason why our infrastructure is outdated as it is. We need more adaptive construction company. Would fulfill your initial election promise of using a state-dominant planned economy to improve the legal recession situation, which is what I was thinking. They have experience and knowledge and manpower for projects of this size. I'm not so sure about their efficiency though. Yeah, obviously. There's also the fact that construction times are long, which are caused by outdated methods. The experience they bring to the table is beneficial. Their track record clearly shows completed contracts with thousands of employees who have experience. According to the preliminary calculations of the SSC, they would need more resources to finish a project of this size. Okay, so I see. So the thing is, it seems like if we pick the SSC, it's going to be more expensive to finish their railway. But it's more likely that things are going to go well. While if we pick the Taurus, there may be a chance that, you know, something might be wrong. Let's hear about underhaul construction. But I'm not gonna pick underhaul. I'm just not, because I despise them so far. It seems like, yeah. Yeah. Working conditions must be respected. Ah, of course, some of these are migrant workers, so it's all good, right, Gus? Of course. I'm not sure about underhaul. It is time to make a decision. I am going to settle on the SSC. I'm going to go with the Sort of State Corporation. Yeah, we need to stay consistent to our economic strategy, and I don't want to take like too big of a risk this early in the game with risky, you know, flashy shit. So, construction progress updated wholesale. The company will be notified today, and the construction work will begin immediately after. My expectations for a grand opening ceremony are late next year. Okay. Alright. Haha! I see that the railway construction project has a kind of meter. Interesting. Report from Honserd demanded an emergency be called to address the increasing political violence in the country. Okay. So, then we have the Economic Relief Act. Yeah, the government budget is getting strained. With the assistance of the National Business Council and the Central Bank, Simon Hall put forward a countrywide relief plan to mitigate the economic hardships that are being felt. We can either provide stimulus checks for people in need or bail out businesses under a serious financial strain or decide not to approve the plan. I feel like the stimulus checks out of these two is the more important use of our very limited budget resources, because, you know, bailing out businesses might bail out very, very inefficient businesses. Well, yeah. There we go. So, country overview updated. Yes. Country overview updated, so that's the Economic Relief Act. The stimulus checks are distributed, and that's a positive. Good, good. That is pretty good. Right, we still have the nationwide riots. We're gonna need to deal with that. Okay, here we have unemployment and checks. The administration has fallen for populism and the idea that giving people money will solve the problems of the economy overall. When long-term job growth and employment is what this country needs in order to secure a stable economy. Risky railway project. Construction begins for high-speed railway. All right. Opposition leader Richter warned that letting SSC build L1 would be extremely questionable. So the reformists are actually in league with enemies of the state or whatever. Funeral of Bernard Circus. The question is whether the president and the administration should attend the funeral or not. I mean, we're gonna attend because he was, you know, we want to send a message against political violence or something. This could be seen as a like risky, like evil pro-communist shit or whatever. But oh well. Especially to what I would say in my speech today. So the Sordland media wants to hear what I'm gonna say. Mr. Sergey wants to hold the umbrella over my head. Do I hold the umbrella or do I not hold the umbrella? Sure, let's hold our own umbrella. Okay, this secured completely. You better be right for your sake. Good work. Thank you, Carl. If anything happens to Anton, you will have to answer to the First Lady. We have a small problem, sir. A few, 5 to be exact, Red Youth members are here to attend a funeral. They apparently said they want to give their respects to the fallen comrades. Should we let them in? I mean, we don't want these potential terrorists, do we? No. We want to use this occasion to strengthen the state or whatever. Okay. I will confess that I disagreed with Bernard Circus almost entirely, but it doesn't mean he deserved this. Our country can be a better place. He was a true comrade and he fought for what he believed in. There we go. We need to end the cycle of violence. We must unite against the evil of this world. I would now like to recite one of the poems he left us. Of course. All right. Realized that the rain stopped and looked up. Huh. Well. What is this now? Briefing on the current diplomatic situation. Well, that do be quite interesting. So, the Blue Mansion in La Haven hosted us for the important diplomatic gathering. The door opened and David Wishy, once a lecturer to me and now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, gently made his way towards my desk. So this is the guy who was being a professor at Deir University. And he's the son of the founder of the Republic, Arthur Wishy. So, yeah. He's old, of course. Look at you, Anton, the 4th president of Sordland. What a privilege for me. I still remember the first day you took my class at the Deir University. Do you remember how hard we worked on the Agnolia trade agreement together? It was an experience to be sure. We signed our best trade deal yet with a good slew of trade advantages over Agnolia. It was even somewhat unfair from my point of view. Somehow, the inexplicable ebb and flow of life has led us here, to positions where we can change the course of history. This is an opportunity to shape the future, and we will do precisely that. That's yeah. Started coughing again. Yeah. How's your health? So he had a heart attack. Sad. They're open, and Joseph and Lucian joined us for the briefing. Okay, so we have a few people. Piotr was missing. I wonder if he was late from all the drinking he did at the party. Oh, that's not very vice president-y of him. Welcome, everyone. Let us begin. I will start by providing a brief overview of our current status with our neighbor. Who would you like to start with? So Agnolia, Valksland, and Vechelen. Vechelen is by far the most interesting to me. It is tumultuous in the south, as always. Viktor Smolak, also known as Polish Hitler, over here, is expanding his powers among protests from Vexik people. However, he is quite positive about normalization of relationship between our countries. Reports indicate that they have been warming up to Kantanen international aid. As you know, Vechelin's stability was always a concern for the region. But if we want to help, we must not treat refugees like we did in the 30s. I still can't stomach the inhumanity of those people suffered. Well, if you'll remember, we helped the refugees. We help such a disorganized state, not sure what we can do to help them. A trade agreement with them would improve stability and increase mutual trade. There would be many bargaining chips discussed, but Vechelin could be a new partner in the region. We would also invest in stability there. Our main goal should be to avoid a refugee crisis like in the late 20s. Okay. One of the demands of President Smolak was to tighten our immigration laws so the political refugees don't escape to Sordland. There has been a recent purge that pushed many Bludish to Friedebergia. It is definitely troubling. Of course, he doesn't want... I mean, many Bludish to Friedebergia. We all know that Bergia has a Bludish problem in general. Gumran Outpost has regained its importance due to this. I'm sure you would remember that winter at the border outpost, Mr. President. Of course. I did remember that winter. So, yeah, when I let the refugees slip through, Major Josef Lancea dismissed me. Even Mr. President himself chose to disobey direct orders of his commanding officer at the time. I imagine he would be pretty angry about that. I did what was right. Soldiers do not decide on what is right. Soldiers do what it is they are told to do. I mean, sure, which is why you're a general and I'm the president. Kaboom! Our focus should be on the current matters. The Bludish minority is very large inside Vechelin, which is a factor to consider. It is in our national interest to prevent the formation of a failed state on our western border. Oh, because then Bludish nationalists in Vechelin could could cause trouble to us as well. So they've been increasingly aligning themselves towards the Communist Alliance, which is another point to analyze. True. Let us hear about Agnolia. Our brotherly nation to our northeast, Agnolia. They are still diplomatically non-aligned and probably has one of the most democratic systems between our neighbors. Economic stagnation is a worry for them. Their primary issue is their heavy reliance on foreign investment from us. Agnolia is our most friendly neighbor. We have been allies for the longest time after Rumburg annexed Dome. This fact needs to be a part of the equation. Unfortunately, the Agnolian Prime Minister Martin van Horten is expecting better cooperation for a new, fairer deal with us. It was one of his election mandates. So he's basically Martin Rutte, or whatever the fuck his name is. He's Dutch. He's just Dutch. He's just super Dutch. He wants the trade to be good. He wants other countries to give them money. I mean, it is good to have an advantage, but we need to think about this request because better relations with them, yeah, would be good. Also because Rumburg, you know, the German Russia over here is kind of dangerous. Additionally, the latest numbers indicate that currently 1 million Anglo-Sardish citizens live in Agonland region of Sordland, which creates a link between foreign policy and our internal affairs. Oh, isn't that the greatest thing ever? These people have suffered socio-economically, which led them to crime and other problems. So we want our Agno-Sardish to be complacent and good citizens. In addition, a relaxed immigration policy was one of Agnolia's main requests, which is unacceptable. Most of the migrants in our country haven't even assimilated into Sardish culture. Adding more won't help. I am supportive of relaxed immigration. I mean, I'm gonna give you money for the military to play soldier boy, so shut the fuck up and let me. We should remember that we promised to keep our immigration laws relaxed in this election campaign. Yeah, let us hear more about Volksland, our good communist British people. Our cousins of old across the Marquian Sea wishes to have good relations with us. As we all know, Volksland is a socialist republic aligned with United Contana. They are an important regional player. It is also the most significant sea power in eastern Mercopa. If we had hostile relations with them after several wars in the 19th century, which we wouldn't want to experience again. Recently, the relationship has warmed up thanks to Emmerich Hegel. Fucking Hegel. As a result, diplomatic talks can be conducted in the future. Breaking the ice between Volksland could be good if we are to rise diplomatically. Of course. They haven't been in good relations with us for the past 200 years. Recently, they have also joined the Communist Containment Security Pact, of course. On top of that, territorial issues flare up between Agnolia and Volksland because of Helgeland Island. Helgeland. The Sardish Navy is very concerned with this volatile situation. Unfortunately, billions of Sardish Ren worth of cargo is transported close to Volkslandian maritime borders on the Marquian Sea and the Great Strait. This causes significant risks to our imports in the case of a deterioration of relations. Okay. The strait is of high strategic value to us. For now, there is no immediate threat, but we don't know what can happen in the future. Okay. Two important neighboring countries remain, Lesbia and Rumburg. Which would you like to hear about first? Let's hear first about Lesbia because I think I know less about them. Our southern neighbor is aligning itself more and more with Arcasia. Lesbia is currently led by President Patricio Alvarez. Patricio Alvarez. Right. They are the jewel of the continent and the second largest economy in Mercopa. Though wealthy, Lesbia suffers from excessive economic inequality. Our past relations have been great, but during the last decade, their investment in Sordland dwindled due to our instability. Yeah, allying with the richest regional nation could be beneficial. But it would also mean that we would draw closer to Arcasia, of course. I am certain that the recession has a lot to do with their retraction of investments. Okay. Once they see that money isn't in the picture, they vanish rather quickly because they are capitalists, of course. They've shown a selfish attitude during the Valen Civil War by closing their borders and funneling refugees to cross into Sordland. Huh. Our values are different with Lesbia. It will be hard to see eye to eye. Lesbia has for a long time benefited from us through our old tariffs. They're after exploitation. There are hundreds of very privileged oligarchs who invest in and outside of Lesbia. Some made civics. So I see. So if we hurt Lesbia, these oligarchs are going to be mad at us. Understandable. What is the situation with Rumburg? Of course, the most troublesome nation. Rumburg. So Rumburg is a constitutional monarchy led by Queen Beatrice Livingston. Our military must be prepared, and the threat is real. They are strong and have the motivation as well as the means to damage us. We shouldn't give them any reasons to pursue aggression. We must prevent them from interfering in our affairs. I agree. While Thornburg openly denies such claims, their past and current actions make it clear that they want to destabilize us. The weapons caches found by our intelligence agencies clearly show what their goals are. Our military must be steadfast and our diplomacy valiant. Rumburg threat is one of the top priorities, you can be assured of that. I agree. We could use their aggressive attitude against them by convincing the international community. Lucien grabbed the Lachavan Times newspaper and put his finger to the article about the latest diplomatic incident. Their abrupt announcement about the closure of the Rumburg consulate in Lachavan is yet another step in this escalation. Okay. We will move on to our trade choice and the response to Rumburg's diplomatic escalation. Alright. Here comes Piotr. You were still supposed to be a part of this meeting. Also on time. Punctuality is important. We are talking about serious subject here. We should have discipline in the cabinet. Yeah. Which topic should we tackle first? I think the trade negotiations, because it's the most difficult subject. Because we're gonna need to choose, we're gonna need to choose between our neighbor, which we're like the first neighbor to negotiate a trade deal with. So we have two options with our trade initiative: start of new negotiations with our old partner Agnolia and forming a new cooperation with Vechelen. Now, both have their importance. But I am more inclined to go with Agnolia. So first, let's hear about the Vechelen trade deal. So it will be lucrative in the short term. There are risks associated with dealing with such a country. I agree, because Polish Hitler seems kind of dangerous, not gonna lie. They are proposing co-investment projects and a no-tariff agreement. They're also offering oil in return for attracting foreign capital investments from Sordland. However, it is possible that there will be international ratifications of getting closer with a country like Vechelen. Yeah, it's literally, Nazi Poland. So it's like one of those two things is bad. Both of those two things together, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway. I certainly don't support the decision to become friendlier with Velen. We carried their burdens for decades, of course. We could also sell more products and enter their market easily. I am of the opinion that it is simply too risky. Okay. You may be right, it is risky. Yeah, it seems like the cabinet is actually agreeing on this, which is incredible. If we wish to go forward with deal when the time comes, there is the topic of immigration to consider. Victor Smolak is a known isolationist. Our promise to keep the immigration relaxed will not help at all. He blames us for bringing Western interests to the region. He doesn't want his political opponents to flee here, of course. Only Piotr wants to give it a try, but yeah, I'm not... It is good in principle, but there's a lot of hurdles. Anyway, the trade deal with Agnolia. So first off, the reason behind this option is more diplomatic than economic, although of course we can't forgo the additional economic value. Agnolia is an old ally and valuable trade partner. The point we are at with the early negotiations is around the steel trade. They're demanding that we buy their steel for a higher price, because they think the deal is far too unbalanced as it is, of course. The second main demand is a privileged access to our agricultural market. In return, they are offering a full alliance with Sordland against Rumburg. Having a coalition against Rumburg would prove extremely useful, I agree. And there will be consequences for entering a full alliance. Mainly the issue is around the Helgi Islands. Of course. So, Valkslan has clear intentions on taking over the islands one way or another, and entering a military alliance with Agnolia will make them furious. I agree. I also don't want to piss off Valkslan too much, but I definitely want to... stick it to being, like, taking a hard line on Rumburg. And they're a solid partner for us. Which is true. My opinion is that this is a good deal, and we should go for it. The new Agnolian Prime Minister is trying to improve the existing relationship. The downside is that we will need to make concessions, a reality of any trade deal. Yeah, that is true. I am open to this. If you decide that Agnolia is a good option, another point is that they have a very democratic system. After the recent elections, the PM has a mandate to arrange a fairer deal with us. So, essentially, if we help them with this, then it's going to be more likely that the PM there is re-elected, thus, you know, re-electing our ally. Regardless, if we're going to increase our regional influence to previous levels, we might need to make amends with our neighbors. Ultimately, the decision is up to you as always. Since we did not promise to align with neither East nor West, it is very likely that their concerns will be among the deal itself. We need to consider the effects of our economic doctrinal plan. The fact that we are headed towards a planned economy will have an influence. Yeah, obviously. We have a lot of time to prepare before the scheduled visits. This gives us a brief overview of our current options. Okay. We would address the diplomatic incident. So, Rumburg Consul Sir Brian Harrington announced the closure... Oh, so they're actually British as well. So they're British, German, Russia. Announced the closure of their 120-year-old consulate, and other diplomatic staff is leaving the city to go back to Farnborough. He blamed the lack of security on Sordland. Bastards! First they close their consulate and then they blame our security? The security situation is under control. They are playing with us. Yup. The neglect of President Alfonso and the chaos of the election delayed our diplomatic efforts. Okay. Now there are only 2 Rumburg diplomatic missions left in Sordland. One is the consulate in the Ear, and the other is the embassy in Hulsard. Huh. We must display strength. So they are... Yeah, you fear that they're looking for a casus belli, and they're slowly spiraling downward to find reasons to wage war. There are worrying developments, like the smuggled arms and the build-up near the border. Our military must be buffed up against a regional power like Rumburg. I do agree. We either respond to this aggressive act in a diplomatic condemnation, or we retaliate by closing our consulate in Dome. I would say that an escalation would be risky this early in our presidency. We should focus on creating a negative image of Rumburg in the international scene. I agree. I say we respond equally. No, we need to make our military stronger, definitely. But an escalation so early is potentially dangerous. Let's try to build up the international support. So our trade delegation will begin work towards the end of the year. Okay. All right. So this is the diplomatic action plan. We're gonna stand up to the northern bastards, and so this is Helgeland. This is the disputed island between Valksland and Agnolia. This is a potentially problematic point because I don't want to piss off these guys too much, because also the Grey Strait exists. But I do want the full alliance with Agnolia against Rumburg. So I kind of want the best of both worlds. So yeah. Well, how long has this been going on? 40 minutes. I think it's high time to stop this with a briefing on the results from the Reform Committee. Let's go for this one and then end the episode. Just gonna go through very, very quickly. Most people nowadays blame the Constitution for the extending problems of the country. The reformists in the Assembly are getting louder about their demands. So here we are. His punctuality could almost be described as obsessive. Are you waiting behind the door to come at the exact second? You seem to be arriving at the exact second for all the meetings. How does it look? The situation is quite complicated, and that's probably an understatement. But we will make it work just like we accomplished many things before. Here come all the others. It is going to be a long meeting. Okay. They demanded a little too much, but have had success with Franz Richter to create a realistic draft that could potentially go through the Supreme Court. A little? They demanded to rewrite the whole Constitution. If we can reach an agreement with the reformists, we will be very strong in the Assembly to propose this change. Can we reach a 2/3 majority in the Assembly? So if we get the reformists, our only problem would be uniting our own party. We'll never be able to get the NFP to work with us. We need a majority of our 130 seats in the Assembly to vote in favor. With PJP's full support of 70 votes, we will easily surpass the needed 166. So basically, we'd only have a few defectors from our party. Okay. But it will be tough to unite the USP with all the divisive wings that have formed. You must make them follow you loyally, of course. Alban Clavin and his reformist wing would be supporting you. He already weighed in heavily in the committee meetings. That's good. However, the conservatives will be tough to break. The influence of Sol is still living strong in the party. How many votes do the conservatives have in total? They have around 40 seats, so the conservatives by themselves can break the 2/3 majority Assembly vote. There are many unaligned people, and some of our loyalists might decide to show their true faces too, of course. So we need as many of the conservatives to support us, and there is only one person who is key to make them back us. Gloria Tory. Oh, Tory and the conservatives, of course. She's well respected by the Solace. She'll be our biggest obstacle in the assembly, and her demands will be extensive. Also have reasons to think that she might be in Orso's pocket. Orso? Who the fuck is Orso? Horso Hawker. Oh, right, the Supreme Court motherfucker. This is the biggest obstacle. The Chief Justice will do his best to block our amendments. We need at least 6 of the 11 judges to vote for the proposal, but Mr. Hawker has enormous influence over the judges. We should reach out to the judges in secret. All means are to be considered. According to the Constitution, I am a member of the Supreme Court, which means we already have a 1 vote. 2 of the judges are friends of mine and of similar opinion about the reforms. Consider them with me. Who else will be willing to support the reforms? Judge Edmonds can be persuaded, and an extension, Mr. Dalton and Mr. Merton. They weren't really blinded by the Solist ideology. Those 3 don't seem to be working directly with Chief Justice Hawker. If we can get to Isabel Edmonds, we can get the 6 votes needed, and that's our best bet. We'll start with the first red line. The new constitution will fix the loopholes regarding the president's absolute veto powers. Okay. Limiting the presidential vetoes. My suggestion is to add a clause, I just punched my microphone, detailing the methods that the assembly may override a veto with some sort of supermajority. Okay. The loopholes give the president too much power, which could be misused. The second one is about the judiciary. The new constitution will remove the Supreme Court's right to vote on legislation. That seems very good. Constitutional amendments will still be very difficult to accomplish with a reform like this, particularly because we will keep the 2/3 vote system to be able to propose a change. However, the judiciary will not have the final say in the amendments. We need the court to even pass this change. Why would they support us? Exactly. Most of them won't, but we already talked about my vote and a possible agreement with Isabel, which may change things. Okay. They have other major demands. They want to reform the appointment procedures of the ministers. The assembly should have a say in the formation of the council of ministers. That's ridiculous. That is something that the majority in our party also supports. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Wait, he's still alive? What? He is currently the only person who holds the title Member of Honor, which gives him total immunity as well as the indefinite right to partake in the Grand National Assembly of Sordland. Huh, I see. So I guess Sol is still around. Let's keep the changes small and manageable. As long as we address the main issues, I also agree. Yeah, I do. Have a good day. Well, alright. This constitutional shit is going to be annoying. I already know it. Anyway, want to thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you soon. And next time, what are we going to have to deal with? The L1 construction plans, of course, and the meeting with Chief Justice Orso Hawker, the piece of shit. I might do that off screen, but who knows. So yeah, see you soon.